Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
Often what you will see is someone starts getting confused. Maybe they start hearing stuff and no one else is hearing it. A lot of times it'll be like someone saying their name but there's no one, saying their name, or they'll hear like knocking, ringing, those type of things.
Psychosis is a mental disorder that includes a range of symptoms that impact the mind and may result in a disconnection from reality for the affected individual. Now, Permian, the local mental health authority of West Texas, has launched a new program to help individuals ages 15 to 30 who are struggling with it. Good evening and thanks for joining us here for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us on our CBS 7 YouTube page. I'm Jay Hendricks. While the onset of psychosis can bring confusion, fear, and uncertainty to both individuals and their families, research has shown that early intervention through coordinated specialty care can significantly shorten recovery time. Permian Care's program is designed to teach individuals how to live with the symptoms and challenges the negative stigma surrounding psychosis. The program offers tailored curriculums for those younger than 18 as well as adults to age 30 and focuses on improving quality of life. That means help with employment, school participation, volunteer work, and symptom management, all unique to each patient.
You won't be capable of doing X, Y, Z. And yes, you are. And that's why we have this program here, just to show the individual, the young adult, they're capable of other things. So recovery is possible.
It goes beyond just, hey, let's talk about what your mental illness is, or let's talk about these meds, to let's talk about how do you live with your psychosis in work, or how do you live with your psychosis and go to school.
This initiative is set to be a game changer for those struggling with psychosis in the affected communities, aiming to reduce hospitalizations and enhance overall functioning for patients in the long term. If you or someone you know is experiencing challenges related to psychosis, reach out to Permian Care for assistance and support. New details tonight on a story we've been following for you. After filing for bankruptcy, the DoubleTree Hotel in downtown Midland has been auctioned off. Wes Gocher, a Midland real estate broker who was at the auction, tells CBS7 an attorney for the lender made a statement before the auction, then made the starting bid of nearly $9.36 million, and no counter bid was made. We don't know yet if the hotel will remain open, but we will continue to follow the story as it develops. Two people were arrested on Sunday evening south of Marathon in Brewster County when a deputy encountered a vehicle with 6 people in it, including 4 illegal immigrants from Mexico. The pair were charged with smuggling of persons. That's a third-degree felony in Texas. The illegal immigrants were referred to U.S. Border Patrol agents. Back here in Odessa, 2 men you're about to see now have been recently involved in multiple car burglaries and were connected with stealing multiple vehicles. That's according to law enforcement officers. They say if you recognize either of them, please contact Odessa Crime Stoppers or Detective F.S. Lofton. You can also contact Odessa Crime Stoppers. The boil water notices in effect in Gardendale and Big Spring were both rescinded earlier this morning. Residents in both towns have been boiling their water since Saturday. Time now to talk your weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Tom Deverteller joins us here on this Tuesday night. Tom, hot again. It looks like that trend's going to continue.
Yeah, more triple-digit heats in the forecast. Let's go ahead and take a look at the satellite and radar view at the present time. Seeing that most of the scattered showers, thunder showers are gone out there as we're looking at pretty quiet conditions this evening. Now, high temperatures today, I know they were all the way up to 107 at one time at Rio Grande Village. We did see triple digits in Big Spring, Pecos, Monahans this afternoon, and Presidio. So just a taste of what we're going to be dealing with here over the next couple of days. Looking at Presidio right now, dealing with some clouds out there as temperatures are again into the mid-90s out there. Still hanging on to triple digits down at Rio Grande Village. So again, hot temperatures across most areas, and humidity levels are staying low. So some good news there. We're not having to deal with that. And it's going to be a pretty quiet overnight as we'll see those temperatures drop down into the mid-70s, but the triple digits are coming back in a big way, and it looks like it's going to last the rest of the week. We'll talk more about that as I take a look at the 10-day forecast through the weekend here in just a couple of minutes.
TxDOT's HERO program may be coming to Ector and Midland County. HERO, or the Highway Emergency Response Operator Program, aims to increase the safety of Texas motorists by reducing their risk of secondary crashes and to help make Texas roadways a safer place to travel. This program has existed for 10 years now and is currently active in Austin, El Paso, and San Antonio. Those programs are paid for by the state because they have a population of at least 500,000 people based on the last census. Ector and Midland County combined have about 400,000, which makes it necessary for the counties to fund the program. If implemented, it would be the first launch in a rural area.
TxDOT has said they would like to look at what we're doing, and after 2 years they might possibly take up this program, just due to, not because our population meets it, but just the activity that's going on here, and if we can show that the numbers are coming down and it's worth the investment.
The 2-year pilot program would cost $5 million. If approved, the funding would come from 3 different sources. The Permian Strategic Partnership would put up $3 million, according to Judge Johnson. Midland and Ector County would then supply another $2 million at $500,000 a year each. Today, Midland County agreed to budget $1 million for it. That budget is scheduled to be approved in October. Ector County will vote on funding approval within the next week. School starts next week, and TxDOT urging you to remember that school zones will be active once again. The agency's Be Safe and Drive Smart safety campaign is now underway. They say last year there were 748 crashes in school zones across Texas, along with more than 2,500 wrecks involving school buses. TxDOT says many were caused by speeding, distracted driving, and failing to yield the right-of-way. The agency is reminding drivers to watch out for children walking and biking to school. Across the Permian Basin, students are gearing up for back to school, as you just heard, and now less than a week away from the start of the school year, and students are getting ready for high school, and that includes seniors, and that means it's time to start a new art project. Senior privileges can include front row seats at football games, first choice of class scheduling, or the chance to prank the entire school. But it also means they get a chance to decorate their own parking spot. It's a chance for the seniors to showcase their artistic side to all of their fellow classmates, but it's also a way for the class of 2025 to come together and have fun.
And trying to figure out like how to get everything like sort of perfect is pretty hard to do, but you know, just got to get going.
I get to show my creativity through a parking spot that all the students see. And it's really cool to see like what they think about doing and like their creativity levels.
Last year, 2 people were caught on camera vandalizing the senior parking lot at Legacy High School. Because of that incident, many students had to return days before school to repaint their spots and are hoping to avoid a repeat.
Please do not come and ruin any of the parking spots at any of the schools. Thank you.
School district says all acts of vandalism will be punished according to the severity of the vandalism. Midland ISD is asking for your help in trying to decide the new name and mascot for the district's newest elementary school. The new school was approved as part of the 2023 school bond. The district says the school's potential name will be submitted to the school board in September for approval. Now, criteria for name nominations and the link to a survey to submit that name can be found on our website. Just go to CBS7.com. ECISD held their annual convocation today at the Ector County Coliseum. The event is district-wide rally to kick off for the upcoming school year. A choir of students opened the event by singing the national anthem, and 4,200 Ector County District employees were present, as well as their current students, their families, and ECISD alumni. They took a longer look at the portrait of the district graduate that describes the knowledge, skills, and experiences that every ECISD student should have upon graduation.
Our theme for the year is to reflect. It's a verb, and so it's an action that we will take. We'll think about the past and the work that we've done. We've had a lot of successes. We'll think about the present and the work that we have to do in the moment. How are we becoming better? And then we'll think about tomorrow. Where are we going as an organization, or what are we doing?
The school district also took a moment to celebrate the approval of the new $424 million bond. A great excuse to shop small is tax-free weekend, which starts on Friday and will run throughout Sunday. All weekend long, most everything, clothing, footwear, school supplies, and backpacks will be tax-free. Midland Park Mall expects it to be a particularly busy weekend because in addition to the tax-free sales, the mall is hosting a back-to-school tailgate party. The event will feature giveaways, games, photo ops, and a lot more. It is happening Saturday at Midland Park Mall. That's scheduled between noon and 2 p.m. You may notice more state troopers along Texas interstates this week. It is part of a heightened enforcement program with a specific target in mind. Jaden Santos with our sister station KCBD in Lubbock tells us how focusing on a particular kind of dangerous driving could make those highways safer.
The Texas Department of Public Safety is launching its Safe Drive initiative, which aims to eliminate commercial motor vehicle traffic collisions. Sergeant Johnny Burris says there's been an influx of crashes lately, and troopers want to help solve this issue.
We have a lot of crashes involving either passenger vehicles with bigger 18-wheelers, and so this is just trying to get those crash numbers down, trying to get folks to be a little bit more safe conscious as they're driving.
This initiative is in place to help drivers across Texas, specifically its highways.
Interstate 27 may not be one of the interstates that we mentioned earlier or in the press release. We do have folks that travel, might be going up to Amarillo, or maybe they're going over to Dallas and traveling on I-35 or taking I-20 into Dallas. The safety tips is something you can use, wherever you're at, whether you are driving in Dallas or whether you're just driving around Lubbock.
Sergeant John Burris says as a department, DPS is always trying to improve the safety of the roads.
We'll take numbers from this and see, what kind of traffic stops we had, if crashes were down in those areas. Did we make a dent in crash numbers? So we're constantly looking, at that and how can we make it better.
Sergeant Burris says to be aware at all times, especially when passing bigger vehicles.
Just be mindful of those bigger vehicles. Don't really try and linger around them. Don't cut them off, because these bigger vehicles, it takes them a lot longer to stop. And I would hate for you to get right in front of these big vehicles and then something happens, there's a traffic hazard or construction and you have to slam on your brakes. They're not going to be able to stop as quickly behind you.
Sergeant Burr's biggest piece of advice is to buckle up and stay aware to do your part in keeping the roads a safer place. This initiative will run through Thursday night on Interstates 10, 25, 35, 40, and 45. Jaden Santos, KCBD, News Channel 11.
Still ahead, we have the latest on a blowout of a Boeing 737 MAX door panel back in January, including one recent report has been revealed. We have the details up next. The National Transportation Safety Board is holding a two-day hearing on a mid-flight blowout of a door panel back in January. Executives from Boeing and its subcontractor Spirit Aerosystems are being questioned about the frightening incident on board a 737 MAX jet during an Alaska Airlines flight. A preliminary NTSB report found that 4 bolts that helped secure the door plug were not replaced after a repair job in a Boeing factory. The company has said There's no paperwork documenting works to remove the bolts. NTSB Chair Jennifer Hamadeh insists that the hearing's goal is to improve safety by looking back at what went wrong in the months before the flight.
Caution here. This isn't a PR campaign for Boeing. What I want to know, what we want to know, is what happened in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, leading up to this, leading up to what happened in January.
Earlier this year, the FAA put a cap on Boeing's production of 737 MAX planes until its safety measures improve. Boeing has committed to increasing employee training and communication, strengthening the autonomous reporting system for employees, and boosting supplier oversight. Boeing is facing criminal, civil, and other investigations related to the panel blowout.
Well, we're going to be on a hot streak, heat wave, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be triple-digit heat here in the next few days. We'll talk about it coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, as we take a look at the satellite and radar view, those showers we've been talking about this afternoon across the Davis Mountains, they're all gone with the sun setting, but high pressure still in control of the weather, and it's going to make things relatively hot but dry. We're not going to see a lot in the mountain areas even for tomorrow. Looking at our live iCam in Presidio, a quiet evening, but rather hot, 95 there now. Temperatures are out of triple-digit territory, at least, over what we saw earlier today. The mountain area is not too bad with Fort Davis at 82, but the lower 90s across the Permian Basin still here at the 9 o'clock hour. Now, we'll take a look at the weather makers. Again, not a lot going on. There are some features out there. We have the big ridge of high pressure across the western U.S. There's a trough across the eastern U.S. and there's the, well, it still is tropical depression, Debbie, I do believe. It's still swirling here, causing some flooding issues across the Carolinas into Georgia. But back home in West Texas, again, we're under the influence of this area high pressure, and it's going to take hold of our weather here the next couple of days. Across the state, not a lot going on as it was a hot one out there. We saw temperatures again for most areas. Well, a lot of areas seeing the upper 90s to low triple digits and more triple digits than anything else coming up for tomorrow. Dallas was up to 101 And the hot spot was 107 again down in Rio Grande Village a little bit earlier. Now the futurecast is showing that we are going to be dealing with some clouds here and there across the mountain areas. Will really be about it. And for tomorrow, we can't rule out an isolated shower or thunder shower, but for the most part, though, pretty quiet. What we're going to be watching late on Thursday and into Friday is a weak boundary, a little cool front try to come down across portions of the South Plains. That may put an isolated shower in the forecast across parts of the Permian Basin later this week. But in the meantime, though, pretty quiet and pretty clear in the skies tonight. Temperatures down into the mid-70s, and tomorrow, plenty of triple digits on the way, almost area-wide for tomorrow afternoon. In your CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, we're going to keep things very hot here over the next few days. Again, into triple-digit territory coming up tomorrow into Thursday. That's when we'll see the worst of it out there, about 100 coming up on Friday. Maybe an isolated shower, thunder shower again, watching that boundary. And high pressure tries to move away, so maybe just a touch milder into the upper 90s. Oh boy, coming up this weekend.
Vice President Kamala Harris has picked a running mate. Up next, we'll tell you who exactly Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is. The Democratic ticket for president is set. Kamala Harris has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her vice presidential candidate. Our Washington News Bureau reporter Brendan Cullerton has more on Walz from the nation's capital.
Governor Tim Walz brings a Midwest element to the campaign trail for Democrats. The Harris campaign says Walz is a champion for working class families and will help the party hold the White House. Cheers for Tim Walz as he left for a campaign rally in Philadelphia from the state he's served as governor since 2019, a place he's significantly more well-known than he is on the national stage.
We've expanded the right to collectively bargain and organize because Minnesota always has been and always will be a labor state.
Now a freshly minted candidate for vice president, Democrats tout Walls as a champion of families. The veteran grew up on a farm, has been a high school teacher, a high school football coach, and portrays himself as a man of family values.
Every year we as a family do something old and something new. I get to pick something, a classic, the old mill ride, to do that.
The 60-year-old Walls has been a politician since he was elected to Congress in 2007, where he served for 12 years before becoming governor for the last 5. His policy as governor provided assistance to low-income students, legalized marijuana, set renewable energy goals, and protected access to abortion.
And Republicans should be ashamed that Amanda is standing up here today. She's standing up here today because she nearly lost her damn lives because they were in that medical room. They believe it's their decision on her personal bodily autonomy.
Democrats hope to portray Walls as moderate. He won a conservative-leaning congressional district in Minnesota and is a pheasant hunter who once had the endorsement of the NRA.
Democrats have to start refocusing on the breadbasket of America, the Midwest, the central states, the plains. And there's no better messenger than Tim Walls. Born in Nebraska, represented a deep red farming community in southern Minnesota.
Walls will immediately hit the campaign trail with Harris, making appearances in several battleground states over the next 5 days. In Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
But that time to be able to take
All right, before we go, here's some good news for dogs who prefer eau de toilette as opposed to toilet water. Dolce & Gabbana have released a designer fragrance for dogs. Tom, you may need this. It's called Fifi. It's in honor of Domenico Dolce's canine of the same name. And you're going to see the dog here in just a minute. According to D&G's website, there's Fifi. The perfume is a, quote, olfactory masterpiece, end quote. It features a touch of musk with the creamy undertones of sandalwood. You think a dog's going to know the difference?
Sounds like an old bottle of Canoe. Anyway, Jay, there's a name for you.
There you go, Canoe. You're going way back. I was even thinking further back. A bottle of Fifi, by the way, costs $109, and it comes with a D&G collar with a tag, so you can maybe for Christmas.
Tell you what,
you must love your dog if you're going to get this. But there you go. If you're interested, Dolce & Gabbana has it.
Good stuff there.
If you want it.
If you want it. Never too early to think about Christmas, okay?
That's right. I don't know if you want to wear it in our heat. Thanks for joining us here at 9 on the CW. More news coming up tonight at 10.